And now, MMA fans, are you ready? Are you ready? The time has arrived. Let's welcome our first fighter, making his way to the cage, Chris Mendoza.
It's Sunday night in Los Angeles, California, coming to you from Club Nokia, LA Live. It's the University of Mixed Martial Arts. Couple of great fights for you tonight. First up, coming in now, Chris Mendoza, the 20-year-old, stands 5 feet 7 inches tall with a record of no wins and 1 loss. All the way here from El Paso, Texas, now fighting with Submission Factory MMA. You know, he might be only a 2-time MMA fighter, but he does have some competitive Muay Thai experience in his past. That will help because the fight does start standing, and having some Muay Thai is definitely a nice advantage. You know, he's pretty light on his feet. He's good overall footwork, moves his head. He's a good fight, good young little scrapper fighter coming out. Yeah, no, he does have very good movement. Last fight we saw of him, he had a really tough chin, got dropped in the first round of that fight, but he came back firing. This is a guy who's not afraid to trade in the pocket, which that's a big thing to gain, especially for a young amateur fighter. Yeah, that's something that's really hard to teach. Also, kind of somewhat impossible to teach in a way for some fighters to get dropped, get back up, get in the pocket and fire. So, you know, he has a quality that a lot of fighters don't have that may be better or more well-rounded, but he has the quality that, you know, is what fans want to see. This is a catch-weight fight at 125 pounds. You may also notice that Chris Mendoza is wearing shin guards, a new addition in this last year from Camo. Any fighters who have under 3 fights, or 3 fights or less, are going to have to wear shin guards. If you have 3 or more fights from both fighters, or more than 3 fights from both fighters, excuse me, then they can opt to have no shin guards if they agree upon it. Good little rule. Chris Mendoza last fought September 28th of this year. Round 2 knockout loss to Hector Trujillo. But again...
And his opponent making his way to the cage, Hugo Aranda.
As I was saying, despite getting caught in that last fight, he was really showing his ability to stay there, take a punch, and to give it back. Now on the other side, though, in our red corner, Hugo Aranda, the 18-year-old, stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, making his debut here as a first-time mixed martial artist with House of Champions out of Van Nuys, California. This is not the first guy we've seen out of House of Champions. No, especially in the U of MMA, we see a lot of House of Champions guys, so... You know, he's probably been here, seen some other guys fight, knows what it's like. You know, he wants to be just like his other teammates and fight. He looks, you know, I'm looking at him walk in the ring right now. It looks pretty focused and, you know, doesn't look like an amateur. It doesn't look like a debut fighter, just the way he composes himself. He's a sharp guy, and, you know, over there at House of Champions under Mark Parra, they've really got a lot of people who are strong mentally. Former lightweight champion here, Dean Bo Moskowitz, also Darian DC Chapman, who's fighting later on tonight's card. These House of Champions guys, this is a gym that came out of nowhere. Nobody knew. It was just a small place in a strip mall, and suddenly they're just producing killers left and right. Well, I think that's the progression of the sport right now. There's so many guys that have at least been watching the sport and kind of want to do it, that all these new teams are popping up, and you know, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see these new teams start up. You know, you don't know who's going to be the dominant team in the future. Hugo's really focused and dedicated. Actually, when he came to House of Champions, he was at the time living in a foster home, and he actually agreed to help clean and maintain the gym in order to pay for his dues. That's a guy that really cares who wants to fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our first fight of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the 125-pound division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Muay Thai and submission-style fighter. He comes to the cage with a record of no wins and 1 loss. He stands at 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighing in at 125 pounds, representing Submission Factory from Los Angeles, California, Chris Mendoza. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter making his debut. He stands at 5 feet 5 inches tall and also weighing at 125 pounds, fighting with the House of Champions from North Hollywood, California, Hugo Aranda. Man in charge of the action, Red Francisco.
Our first fight of the night, Hugo Aranda in the red wraps, Chris Mendoza in the blue wraps. this 125-pound catch-weight affair. This is the U of MMA. It starts here. Fighters come out, touch gloves. Both light on their feet early. Hugo, quick front kick. Response, though, from Chris Mendoza. Both guys not afraid to trade early on. Good feints so far coming from Hugo Aranda.
Yeah, these guys are throwing right off the bat. I think the addition of these shin pads is kind of nice. It's going to let these guys actually not be so afraid to throw some kicks. But they're exchanging right off the bat.
Quick hand combinations from Hugo Aranda. Chris Mendoza ending his combos with kicks.
You know, it's a smart way to set the pace. You know, these are only 2-minute rounds. So.
Oh, big left hand from Hugo.
That's the
and
fight.
That's it.
Fight is over.
House of Champions continues producing top-level talent. This fight ends partway through round 1 with a vicious left hook.
That was some incredibly tight striking we saw there. For someone in their first fight, that was some really tight striking.
Not just tight, but powerful.
Powerful.
Hugo Aranda's only 18 years old, and he ripped that thing.
You know, for an 18-year-old making his debut, he has a lot of things together, especially with his striking. You know, he won a grappling tournament over the summer, and we didn't see any grappling or attempt at grappling. So,
and that was actually what they were touting as the big plan for the night when I was talking to them beforehand. They were going to come out, put this fight on the mat, and then use Hugo's pretty significant grappling advantage to try to put this one down.
A lot of times what happens, you get out there, you say, F it, I'm going to start punching because this is fun.
Yeah, there must be something in the water over there at House of Champions, because between the powerful production of Deanvo Moskowitz and DC Chapman, we'll be talking about him later tonight, the way that he pops in and out. There's something they're doing over there, especially in the striking game.
100% correct, Rich Slayton.
You know, that dedication really paying off here. All that time, as Coach Mark Parra was saying, Hugo spends all of his time either on the mat working or on the mat cleaning it with a mop.
Hey, you know, there's been a lot of good fighters in the day that have been ones that lived in the gym, cleaned the gym. Look at Brian Ebersol in the UFC. He's probably lived in 15 gyms around the world, and you know, the more you're there, the better you get. So if you're living there, you're gonna get good.
Really great fight from both fighters. Let's not take away from Chris Mendoza. He was in there trading, throwing really aggressive kicks. What a fantastic fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the punishment ends at 38 seconds into the first round. Your winner by technical knockout, Hugo Aranda.
All right, let's give it up for both these fighters for getting the night started out right. Hugo, come talk to me. Nice debut. How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling awesome. Yeah.
Yeah? That was a really good way to come out. You guys seemed to really just start swinging, and you were really composed for your first your debut match. How long have you been preparing to get in the cage?
Man, I've been preparing since the first day I started training.
How long has that been?
A year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
1 year and you get in the cage and knock out your first opponent. That must feel really good. How do you feel like the addition to the shin guards was able to help you, or did it get in your way?
It didn't really matter. It just didn't matter.
Didn't matter. You came out and did what you came to do. You want to give a shout out to all your fans came to support you?
Yeah, I want to give out a shout out to HOC. And I just want to thank all my coaches and everybody for helping me out get ready for this fight.
Give it up for him. This is debut fight, Hugo Aranda.
Nope. Your winner with the big left hand, Hugo Aranda.